My name is David, and you're watching the Let's Meet show on Secular.
Hi, y'all. What up? Welcome to the Let's Meet show, episode number 4, brought to you by Secular. Today, I have a nice guest that I'm very excited to have. I know this guest through their now wife. She was once a colleague of mine, an amazing worker who is no longer a colleague, but now a dear friend. And yeah, so I won't introduce them, but I will let the guests introduce themselves.
All right,
Do your thing.
My name is David Guzman. I'm 25 years old, and I'm Latino Hispanic. I'm an operations manager for a charter school in Colorado.
Nice. Thank you for introducing yourself. Tell us about your background.
Yeah. Well, I say Latino Hispanic, so my family is all from Mexico. My mom was born in Juarez, Chihuahua. My dad was born in Chihuahua. So just from that area, and that's what I identify myself as more. Like that's what I grew up with, that Hispanic background. Like even though I was born in Denver, that I don't really consider myself to be from Denver. Like, that's not, I wasn't raised on Denver norms or Denver. I was raised on what my parents were raised on in Mexico. So that's what kind of I consider myself. All my family is in Mexico. I have a few people in Texas, but other than that, our whole base is in Mexico.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. The reason why I ask, culture is so huge to me. I'm big on culture. And I feel in Denver, there is a huge division among cultures.
Yeah.
So my goal is, not even my goal is, I feel like this is God's goal, is to bring all the people together.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like everyone to just highlight their culture and who they, like what their culture means to them. We'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah. But just so everyone can see like, yo, we're bringing everyone up here. This is a way to bring everyone together instead of having us all divided. Because that's just my experience in Denver, and I hear it from a lot of other people as well too. So what are some of your favorite things about your culture?
I feel like the family aspect. I feel like something that is really important to me and to my family is always maintaining in contact, like always being close to each other, even though it can get difficult, like, with everyone being in Mexico and me and my parents are over here, my cousins and aunts and uncles are in Texas. Like it is difficult to really like be together, but always communicating with each other, always checking in with each other. Like, we're family, we're gonna fight. Who doesn't fight? Those are normal things. But I feel like something that my mom especially has always raised me on is like, your family at the end of the day, you need to get over it and you need to just continue, because at the end of the day, if all else fails, that's the one thing you still have is your family.
Word, that was a great answer. Thank you for sharing that. Are there things that you're able to take away from your culture that you're able to implement in your day-to-day job?
Yeah, so actually in my job, all of the students are primarily Hispanic. So we're at least like 95% Hispanic. So I know exactly what those kids go through, like, how the real world thinks of us, the opportunities, how much more difficult opportunities can be, even from applying through FAFSA because you don't have a social security number. Like I know what obstacles we face, so me have already gone through all that process. Like it makes it worthwhile to be able to help out people that are in the same shoes that I was in just a few years ago. So definitely, trying to do more cultural things at work, trying to talk to people in Spanish if they speak Spanish, like helping them out, because yes, we're all here, but we're all different and we're all unique, and we need to embrace that from each other.
Word, that's dope. So you said you're an operations manager at a charter school.
Yes.
How does a person get into that? Like what drew you to that?
Yeah, well, that's actually what I studied for in college, was business administration, and my final class was actually an operating class. So it was, taking companies and seeing what they do wrong versus what they do right, and seeing like their operational value. So that's the class that really wanted me to get into that field. But as far as me getting into that job, I was in finance for about a year before that. And my mom actually works for that school now, and I actually went to that school as a kid. So the CEO was joking with my mom and told her like, oh, when's David gonna come work for me? And I just so happened to be disliking my job and my schedule. So I called him and I was like, what opportunities do we have? And that was the open door where I fit in with my degree. And after a couple conversations, he felt that it was destined for me to be there as like, the first person who's really coming back, but in that type of position of power. So yeah, that's really what guided me to it. I honestly had no experience in operations management. Like that's something I saw myself getting into years down the road, but he gave me the opportunity, and now I'm just kind of learning it all, even though it's kind of difficult at times, but learning is something that I will always do at that point.
Dope. Do you feel like this is an opportunity for you to give back?
Yeah, I definitely see it as that. Like I said, working with those kids, I know like some of those kids I know from their older brothers or their older sisters. Like, it's all, at the end of the day, it's the same community, just different generations. So getting to see that is something very interesting to me, to be hosting a basketball game and I see all the people that I went to school with coming back to root on their brothers and sisters. Like, I feel like I'm giving back and I'm trying to do what I can to make it better, but also different and more culturally accepting for those families.
That's fire. I'm intrigued. I'm glad to have you on here.
Thank you.
Because I think education, especially the education level you're at, it kind of gets overlooked in a way, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, especially with nowadays, they're like highlighting social media or the glitz and glamours of life or the riches, and it's like the level you're at, you're actually making an impact in kids' lives that they're going on to the next step in their life. Is it high school, you said?
Yeah, it's all the way from pre-K through high school. So yeah, I see kids that start when they can barely speak and then graduate. So yeah, I kind of deal with a little bit of both.
Yeah, because I feel like from what I hear from a lot of people, teachers, they're underpaid.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of things like that. But the impact they do make on kids' lives is like crazy. Like I remember there was teachers who would give me words that still stick with me to this day. And I want to highlight that, you know what I mean? I want to highlight the people who are out there making an impact on kids, because kids, whether we want to accept it or not, they're the next generation. They're the ones who are going to be teaching us things. They're the ones who are going to be discovering new things when I'm old and like, they're going to be the ones who are going to be holding it down. So I thank you for what you do, and I think that's very dope.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to go into some of these questions I have here. Question I have is, what are 2 brands that admire you? The reason why I asked this question is Secular is my brand. Yeah. I'm a very minimalist person. I love how things look, the aesthetic, simplicity, and things like that. So I'm going to just go with your top one. You said your main brand you admire, I don't know if it's the main one, but Stone Island.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about Stone Island?
Kind of like what you said about you embracing your brand, the simplicity of it. It's a luxury clothing brand, but it's simple. Like, you can go get a black hoodie and all it is a little patch that's on it or a little logo, and that's it. And that's something that I really like, because I'm not someone that's into all of the flashy, like, you gotta have brands all over you. Like, I'm a very black and white type of guy. I could wear black pants with a white shirt, and to me it doesn't matter what brand it is, but knowing that you can get something that's got history to it, like, you see Stone Island all over Europe, and it's something that's a lifestyle for people. So being able to have a designer brand clothing but also wear it on an everyday and not have to use it on a special occasion, to me is pretty dope.
Dope. Do you feel like there's things you can draw from Stone Island or the simplicity of your style, and you can incorporate that into what you do at work?
Yeah, I feel like that's part of even my aesthetic at work. Like, at work, I'm not a suit guy. Like, in my position, I feel like it can be kind of expected, but I'm not. Like, I try to be more casual, and that's kind of to fit in with the kids, but also I feel like when you're wearing a suit at work, you give this intimidation factor to everyone else, or you kind of put yourself above everyone else. So to me, I wear joggers, I'll wear tennis shoes and a polo and my school jacket, and that's it. Like, nothing crazy. And I feel like simplicity, there's just so much beauty in simplicity that some people don't see because they're so blinded by what the fashion world is telling you or what social media is telling you, like you said. So I feel like just being a simple person that people can relate to, people can approach, that's something that I always want for me.
I like that you say that, because if you ask Natalie, when I would go to work, I held a supervisor position, but I wouldn't, and you, like you said, you would think someone in that role is going to come in a suit, and like my colleagues would come in and dress like that. But for me, I just feel like that's not realistic, and I feel like these are things that have been set by like older generations that were, maybe that worked at that time, but like we have evolved as humans, and like you want to be relatable, you want to be personable, and I agree. I feel like the suit gives off this like, I'm better than you, or this is my role, look, blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, those days are dead, I feel like.
Exactly. And I could see like, you know, higher ups wearing like, you know, like of course it depends on your position, but like I don't want somebody to, like a new student to come in and see me and be like, oh, I'm not even gonna talk to you. Like I have this relationship with like my students where I don't make them call me by my last name. Like there is no Mr. Guzman, none of that. Like I tell them when they ask me, what do you want me to call you? You call me David. I'm like, that's me. Like it's David. It's not, I'm no better than you. I'm nothing. Like I'm just here trying to make, you know, my job work and make things better for you in the future. So there is no proper things for me. Like just call me David. That's how you can address me. And I feel respected that way. I feel more comfortable that way than being called by, you know, something that has been given to schools and teachers. And for one, I'm not a teacher, so to me I save that Mr. Mrs. for the people that are in the classroom.
Yeah, that's dope. I know me growing up, I would never call teachers by like their full name. I was like, yo, Mr., Mrs. What you said, whatever. So I never gave them that power either. Like you're not getting Mr. Guzman from me. You getting Mr. like everybody else.
Like everybody, yeah, for sure.
That might just be some like city school stuff. But any students ever be like, yo, David, you look fly today?
Yeah, all the time. So I have a thing that I just started, and I was just actually talking to Natalie about it. What I'm trying to work on is my shoes. So like lately I've been wearing Dunks or, you know, Jordan Lows or Yeezys to work. So the kids will always look at me and they're like, are those real? Are those real? I'm like, yeah, they're real. And I'm like, the only reason I do it is it's also a conversation piece, you know? Like a kid can walk up to me in the hallway and they'll be like, oh, those are cool. Like, and you know, you could tell them a little bit about it, or, you know, like, but it gives them that relatability because it's something that they're seeing, you know, but just that they're not expecting, you know, a school dude to be wearing
Mr. Guzman should not be wearing
Yeezys to work, like, you know what I mean? But for one, they're comfortable, so I'm gonna keep wearing them, and it just gives you like a little edge to like to your fit. Like, I don't know, I just feel like even though it's work, you should still at least try to put something into it. Like, you know, uniforms, we do uniforms at work for students, but they get creative with it too. Like I got kids that are wearing Vans, but I got kids that are wearing black Air Force Ones, or kids that are wearing, I've seen
kids wearing black Air Force Ones.
Yes, bro.
You might want to keep an eye on those kids.
Yeah, no, we do. But like there's kids that I see wearing Louboutins that are black because you have to wear a black shoe. Like I see kids like embracing that and taking it to another level, and I think that's dope because it shouldn't just be a pair of Vans. Like, you know, you can make it what you want to be.
Facts. I think that's a good fashion tip, y'all. Whoever's watching this, sneakers are a big fashion statement. Like a lot of people sometimes overthink it. You could have the most simplest fit, but everyone loves a fly sneaker. Yeah. A fly sneaker is timeless.
Exactly.
And I think I like that. I rocks with that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I like to ask people this. What is success to you? Because success is wild different for everyone. What I used to think was success when I was in my teens changed when I was in my 20s. And then when I was in my 20s, now success is different in my 30s. Yeah. So what is success to you at 25 years old?
At 25 years old, success to me is honestly just living a peaceful, simple life. Like if I can get my bills paid and still have money to take her out on a date or to like just do some type of activity, that to me is a successful life. Like making sure I'm taken care of, she's taken care of, the dogs are taken care of. Like if we can live peacefully and relaxed, not stressed about finances, that's success to me. Like being able to go on a vacation, you know, obviously, like,
which y'all do a lot.
Which we do a lot, yeah. Which we're going to Spain next year or in October. So like things like that to me is success, is being able to see the world, because I just think about success for my parents versus success for me, and it's different. And I feel like that's something that I'm trying to change in like my father's perspective. You know, like for him, it's always been like, you got to make the money, like the money. But to me, if I'm happy doing my job, I'm doing fine. As long as I can get my stuff paid and taken care of, I don't need to be making $600,000 a year. Like, I'd rather be happy with my day to day, because working is 90% of our lives. So being miserable doing that for a big paycheck isn't worth it for me.
Facts. Side note, y'all, my man's wife, Natalie, is here. So she's in the back. Thank you for being here, Natalie. We love you. Speaking of your wife, now you are married. By the way, my man mentioned dogs. If you know me, my mind goes everywhere. My man mentioned dogs. And if you are from Denver, dog is a priority in Denver. There is more dogs than kids out here, y'all. So if you do come to Denver, just know you're going to see more dogs than kids. And I didn't realize that my one man came out here like the second summer I lived out here. And we was waiting to get into a restaurant. And he was like, yo, am I tripping? But I've seen way more dogs than kids. And I was like, yo, that's a fact.
Yeah, it's facts.
Yeah, dogs are important out here. If y'all know, I work at Target and I always deliver orders to guests, and there's always a dog in the car. And like, now I know some of these dogs by name. They see me, they kiss me, they hug me.
Yeah, they're excited to see you now.
So, if you want to show your dog some love, come visit me at Target.
There we go. I'll be there later today.
But tying it in, now you're 25, recently married. How's that adjusting to marriage, not being selfish, but being selfless? And how's that for you now with your career and everything going on?
I feel like it's all working out the way that it should. Like, I've always told Natalie, and I've been transparent about that, I never thought I was going to get married. Like, it was never in my plans. Like, I've always seen myself as living in the city in an apartment. That's it, by myself, nothing. But I feel like when you meet the right person, like, you meet the right person. Everything can change. Your whole mind and aspect views on things changes the minute you meet the right person. So to me, everything changed. Like, we were just some college kids at one point. Now we're married, we live together, we have our dogs, we're trying to buy a house. Like, but I find excitement in that. Like, that's something that I'm happy about, like, to be married. Like, I enjoy it. I enjoy knowing that I'll always be coming home to her. Like, knowing that I'm always going to have her to fall back on. Like, I know that there's always a rock, there's a foundation in her that I know that I can, be vulnerable in. So, yeah, to me, it's a great thing. I've been enjoying it. We've been having more fun since we got married than probably anything. So, yeah, I feel like, and I feel like for some people, marriage can be intimidating because, the first thing you think of is that's it. But really, when you're with the right person, it's about doing things together. Like, for us, it's been, where are we going next? What are we doing next? What's the next move? But doing it with someone, I feel like there's beauty in that. To know that, you don't got to go through life by yourself anymore. Like, we're going to enjoy life together, do the things that we want. Doesn't matter what anyone has to say, what anyone thinks. At the end of the day, as long as she's happy, as long as I'm happy, there's no worry.
Damn, that's fire. That's beautiful. Are you crying over there? I might be crying. Nah, that was mad sweet, bro. Thank you for sharing that.
For sure.
So let me transition. By the way, y'all, I'm not perfect. I'm human. I asked people their favorite song. I didn't listen to David's favorite song, so we're skipping that one.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was more focused on the segment I'm introducing today. So obviously, I'm a creative. This is something I do want to know. What is your creative expression?
Oh, I feel like my creative expression I feel like it translates to how I do things. Like, I feel like I always try to find a simple way of doing things, but then elevating it. So, like, I feel like there is black and white, but making that black or white turn a little more colorful. Like, like doing something as simple as going to get coffee for work. Like, to me, I could go get coffee, but I could also go get coffee for other people. Or like, trying to take care of those around you, trying to make everyone feel included, no matter what it is. Because like I said, even in work, like, I have that thought in the back of my head that because of my role, maybe people don't really want to talk to me, or like my coworkers aren't really my coworkers, but here are my coworkers inviting me to a Super Bowl party. Like, like, I feel like making everyone feel included, making everyone feel involved. I'm not better than you. Like, everyone is on the same level. And I feel like that's why I gained the respect of my colleagues and like that type of not admiration but like selflessness with them, because they know at the end of the day, like, I'm just a simple guy. That's it. I work, I do my job, but that doesn't define who I am.
Damn, this is such a good conversation. Yo, you're dope. For real, nah, because like a lot of people, you ask people what their creative expression is, and a lot of people just think art, music, or whatever creative things. But like creativity, y'all, is much more than that. And what I'm taking away from what you're saying is like your creative expression is to go above and beyond for others and to love on others.
Yeah.
And I've never viewed creativity like that. But yo, thank you, God, because that's fire. That's a fire way to view it. Like, we need people like you, and we need these type of creatives like that who are not just contributing to art, but contributing like if I'm going to get coffee, yeah, I could go get myself coffee, but let me go get my coworker some coffee. Yeah. Like, that's a selfless, loving way to share yourself. I think that sounds crazy. I'm sorry, Natalie. I hope your man's not sharing himself in that way. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for sharing that. That was dope. That was very beautiful. Another question I have on here. By the way, y'all, as I'm telling everyone, we was doing cookies at first. No more cookies. For y'all who don't know, I have switched to a pescatarian lifestyle. Sharing this with y'all right now. Yeah. It's been an adjustment, but I feel great internally. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm just really trying to change my life so I could do this. I feel like if I couldn't change my life, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. So all that to say, I asked my mans for a healthy alternative. My man said a banana would do, but he ain't even eat the banana. Pause.
Not yet. Watch, in a little bit, we'll pick up the energy.
Yeah, that's that part of it. Another question I have is, what impact do you want to leave on the world?
I know this is gonna sound like a very generic answer, but leaving it better than when I found it. Like, I feel like, and in my type of role, like, I feel like I have so much power and so much influence to really change the next generation as far as working with kids every single day. Like, I really can do this. Like, I don't need to be anybody else but myself around these kids, and having them learn from my experiences what I fucked up in, like being better than who I was. Like, that's my goal, is if I can meet someone and make them better than who I am right now, I've succeeded. Like, as long as people can take away, I feel like as humans, we all need to take away from, each other, because nobody's perfect. We've all messed up in life. We've all done things we regret. Like, but that doesn't define who you are. Like, what defines who you are is what you do after that. So I feel like telling people that and making people understand that mistakes are common, I feel like that's something that I want to do to change the world. Like, that's something I tell my staff. That's something I tell the kids. Like, it's okay to mess up. Like, we're only human. What person can tell you that they've never messed up in their life? Nobody. So just keep living and don't let the negativity make it who you are.
I like that. For 25, that's fire. Because for mad years, I just tried to be perfect. Yeah. And I didn't want to accept, I didn't want to accept flaws or mistakes, or it's got to look like this. It's got to be like that. Yeah. And I feel like just now at 33 going to 34, I've learned that it's okay. For the beauty of it is in the work and in the progress. And when you look back in hindsight, like, I've grown from that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's dope. With all that saying, like what you're saying, what success means to you and your job, what does David look like in 5 years?
Oh, in 5 years. Hopefully have a house. Right. Yeah, have a house. I don't know. Kids, possibly. We'll have to get there when we get there, but maybe a kid, another dog.
Those are kids.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, I might be on a path to do bigger and better things, like, in my role. So I feel like even work-wise, like maybe getting a higher position to have more influence on the decisions that are being made for the kids. But yeah, in 5 years, I just see myself a simple life, like I've said before, just being happy. Hopefully travel to a few more countries by then. But yeah, just continuing to enjoy life, continuing to learn from mistakes, and continuing to just,
No, that's fine. Thanks for sharing. That's dope. Thanks for sharing that. So tying that all together, you're married, you're doing a lot in school. What are you doing to take care of yourself outside of that?
I feel like just surrounding myself with good people. Like, I feel like we have some really good friends. Obviously, we have a couple of the UC Health peeps. We have our own friends, our neighbors. Like, I feel like how I take care of myself is like enjoying my time with the people around me. Like, sometimes it is going out with friends and just having a good time, but sometimes it's just going home and having dinner with my wife and like binge watching something, or like just having a conversation. I feel like that's something we're really trying to get good at, is like communicating. So like talking our feelings with each other, and just really like learning to understand like who we are as just simple humans, because at the end of the day, that's all we are, and that's what everyone is. So yeah, I feel like just the simplicity of ending the day and maybe having a drink, or and just catching up or relaxing. That's how I really take care of my mental health. Is she takes care of my mental health more than she probably knows. But yeah, just like being able to come home to stability.
That's dope. Sounds like communications, which I think is dope. Communication, y'all, is very important. And the more we learn that, because what I've learned in just a lot of my recent life experiences is what you're saying, open conversation, open communication is key. But a lot of people aren't there in life, and a lot of people they want to be right, or like they want to prove their point. And I feel like a lot of those things stem from something deeper. And I'm not here to judge no one or tell them how to be or whatever. But I feel like trying to be right all the time is not healthy. No. And it's not going to lead to like a healthy relationship, no matter it's your wife, your friends, your family, or whatever. That's that. The second part is what I'm taking away from you is community is very important to you. I could see. I like that because that's what I'm trying to create with this show. I found it really hard to find community out here. Yeah. Do you feel like community is something you had a lot when you were growing up throughout your childhood?
I would say so. I feel like, I grew up around the same people. Like, we didn't have a big house or anything. Like, we lived in like a Section 8 housing townhome. So like those friends, like they were there with me until, we moved. But like, I've always considered, like, I can drive by that same place and I feel that sense of home. Like, that has never gone away from me. Like, no matter how old I am, no matter how, I can still look at that door and be like, that's where I grew up. Like, my childhood was right here, playing with these kids, playing football, going to the park. Like, there was no video games, like, it was just kids being kids, playing outside. And that to me is like my base. Like, that's my comfort. Even now, like, I struggle to like be on my phone or like do some things like that. Like, I'd rather just be doing something, like being active, or like being outside and enjoying the company of somebody. So yeah, I feel like community engagement is such a big thing, because I feel like that's how you can get your message across, is when you have a community that backs you and backs what you're doing, your missions, your values. Like, there's nothing that could stop you.
Facts. That's fire. Yeah, being outside, y'all, is huge to me. I'm the same way. I grew up the same way. Like, being outside, it's tough now when you look at the younger generations. They all just be stuck on their phone all day, and it's like, yo, I remember going outside, even if it was we was just making up games, or like, yo, we just gonna act like that's a cave, and if you go in the cave, I'm gonna try to find you, and it was just like using your imagination and like working with what you have. But now we just be like this.
Our imagination is now controlled by a phone.
And that's what they wanted. I feel like, personally, not to get deep in like politics or like conspiracy theories, that's kind of what they want. They want to limit your imagination and just do what we telling you to do, so that way you're just stagnant or whatever.
Everyone has the same path now because of that. Like, there's like, you got the whole thing of, you got to go to college, you got to do this, you got to do it the right way. That's all a bunch of, like, I don't know if we could cuss on the show, but
I don't really care.
That's all a bunch of bullshit. Like, I did it the right way, and I think about it now, and I'm like, did I really need that? Like, did I really need to go to college to find myself? I don't think I did. Now I'm stuck in debt. Sucks, but
But the college degree has helped you land the career you have.
Got me where I am today. So yeah, it absolutely helps, but I feel like I could have been creative on my own too.
Word. No, that's dope. Well, you touched on something that resonated well with me. I grew up in Section 8 housing as well too. I want to know, do you feel like, how did that influence you growing older? Because for me, growing up in Section 8, low income, growing up, you kind of, depending on where you live and the people around you, there's like classism in the world, you know what I mean? And I've learned, because a lot of people I grew up with, they like, I want to get out the hood. Obviously, we want to get out the hood, but they had this such negative view on their background and their upbringing. And for me, I've learned to always just embrace being from the hood, being from low income. I love it so much. It's given me all the quality and characteristics I have to this day. How do you feel like that has affected you in your upbringing?
Yeah, I feel like exactly what you said is the perfect way to put it. Like, I feel like because of how I grew up, it's made me who I am, because I learned to appreciate things more. Like, I didn't have it easy during life. Like, there were times where we had to make sacrifices for things that we want. So I feel like growing up that way has shown me how to become a man, but also like to enjoy the simple things in life. Like my parents taking me out to like a park. Like, to me, there's beauty in that now, because nowadays that just doesn't happen. Like, unless you got a park right in your neighborhood, you're not going to it. So I feel like it really teaches you how to be a simple person, but also you enjoy life a lot more because you're not expecting things to come to you. Like, you find the beauty in earning things. And that's something that a lot of people don't have. Is like, some people, it really was just handed down, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, God bless, like, that's amazing for you that you had it that way. But I feel like not having it that way makes you value everything so much more.
Word. Nowadays, you can't even really go to a park if you're a kid, because it has been replaced with a dog park.
With a dog park, yep. Yeah, there's very few parks, or they don't even take care of them anymore. Yeah. You got the same slide that was pink that's white now because it's been used so much.
Facts. Or the sun is faded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. All right, we touched on a lot of these. Let me see where I'm at over here. I think we've made it to our segment, y'all. I'm starting a new segment called the Chat GPT generated question segment, where I am utilizing AI to help with my laziness. So the question I wanted to ask, I'm actually two of them, just to get in some depth, is more in tune with David's role as an operations manager at a charter school. Mm-hmm. So the Chat GPT generated question is, what steps do you take to create and maintain a positive and inclusive school environment?
Yeah, so I feel like that touches a little bit on what I've talked about. So culture is a huge thing for me. Like, having a good culture at work is one of my top priorities, because I feel like some people go to work and they're not happy. So my goal is to make work not feel like work for everybody in the room. And I feel like everybody should have an opinion. Everybody should have a voice. Like, there is no, even though like there's that management tier, to me, that I push that away. Like, someone can come up to me and tell me, hey, can we do something like this? I feel like it'd benefit this. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're janitorial, you're a teacher, you're a higher up, you're a principal. To me, it's the same feedback no matter who your position is or who you report to. So I feel like being transparent with everyone, like if things are going wrong, like that they want to know, they should know about it. Because I feel like that creates a stressor at work when you don't know what's going on, but you see those people that are supposed to be taking care of it freaking out. So I feel like just being transparent, doing things to get everybody to communicate more, celebrating things in staff meetings, and not just celebrating things about the kids, but celebrating things about you. Because I feel like even though it's work, you're still yourself at work. So I feel like everyone should be celebrated for who they are and for what they do and their beliefs and everything. And yeah, it's all about the kids, but we got to keep focus of ourselves too.
That's dope. This leads me to another question, because an operations manager, you're not primarily overseeing kids. You're overseeing, like you said, you oversee. Tell us what that is. Who do you oversee, and what does your job entail, like a day-to-day like that? Yeah,
so I oversee pretty much every single department, whether it's facilities, bus drivers. I do all the transportation work. I work with grants, getting grants. I just started looking over a robotics department and coding and STEM, all of the teaching departments, admin, and of course I kind of oversee a little bit. Well, not oversee, but I work very much with the senior leadership. So, that's who I report to. That's who, I have to be able to report on every department at any given time and be like, so this is what's going on here. We need to fix this. I took care of this way. What do you think? Was that the proper way? So yeah, it's just overseeing everyone. But one thing that I really like is, I feel like just saying that makes me sound intimidating as fuck. But I'm not. I'm like,
yeah, he's a big boss.
But no, and that's
joggers.
Yeah, I know. But no, all of my staff get along with me. I go golfing with the teacher. I have that personability. Is that what it is? Yeah, with everybody.
Yeah. You went to college. I don't know.
I can be personable with anyone, and like I feel like even that like teacher asking me like, hey, you want to go to Topgolf? Let's go golfing this weekend. Like to me, that's dope, because to me that means that I'm doing my job the right way, knowing that people can approach me and be human with me and not feel like I gotta be like on my toes with this dude. Like, no, like at the end of the day, I'm a 25-year-old dude, and I still have that kid in me. Like, it's not gone. So like being asked to go do something, that's exciting.
Damn, your story is mad inspiring, because are you 25 going to 26?
26? Yeah, 25 going on 26.
All right, when's your birthday?
Yeah, September 17th.
So that makes you, I don't know about signs. We're not doing that here. That's not godlike. Anyways, which is dope, y'all. 25. You hear my man? He was in finance before.
Yeah.
Then transition into an operations role. So just so y'all know, like, you can always pivot, and it's also like he said, which I like to highlight on your networking and your relationships with people. Mm-hmm. So he must have kept a good relationship with those people in school, had a good relationship with his mom, obviously, because not a lot of people got good relationships with their parents. And then that also led to your transition into that role. Yeah. So if y'all want to take away anything, is like, yo, just cherish some of the relationships you have. Sometimes you are going to burn bridges, you know what I mean? Like, that's just a part of life, but don't ever feel like it's over. There's always more opportunities to come. You know, just have faith, have trust, believe in yourself, and stay grinding. And I feel like you never know, you could be an operations manager, you know what I'm saying? Like
I told that to my boss all the time. I'm like, you know, when we're like talking about, like, you know, sometimes he'll tell me like, oh, we got to do this better, but you're really doing good at this. And you know, when we have conversations like that, I'm like, you know what, like, thank you, because if it wasn't for this relationship that we have, this is a job I wouldn't have had for years. Like, and it would have taken me so much experience and so many years to get to where I am. So knowing that someone has faith in me like that, to bring in a kid fresh out of college and work with him, like, you know, obviously I still got that, you know, probably what they think is immaturity in me, but I'm learning from them. So like, it feels good to know that somebody has faith in you to do something like this.
Yeah, stay immature, by the way.
Yeah, that's not going away.
I don't like when people get too grown.
No,
you know what I mean?
I can't get too grown, bro.
Like, yo, relax, G. Have some fun.
Yeah, we got to enjoy life, because it's too short. It's too short to be too mature. Like, how are you going to enjoy it that way? Like, I still watch cartoons. I get excited about the stupid little things. Like, that's just me. Like, I'm a silly dude. Like, you can ask Natalie. Like, when she met me, she probably thought I was a doofus. Like, but that's just
doofus.
That's just my personality. Like, I'm a goofy guy. Like, you know, like once like I get close with someone, like my funny side comes out, and I just love to talk. Like, I love to make jokes. Like, that's just who I am, and that's not gonna, like, no one or nothing is gonna take that away from me.
All right, I got a question since you said something. What is a cartoon you watch, and what is the cereal you still eat?
A cereal I still eat is Trix. A cartoon I still watch. Well, right now I'm into like the adult ones, like South Park. And I'm a dead South Park fan, bro. Like, I have that shit tattooed on my leg. But South Park, like, kid cartoons, I love, like, Tom and Jerry. Like, they don't say anything, but it's funny to watch.
Fire.
It's fire to watch. But, like, yeah, just all of those shows that we grew up on, that's something that we actually just started doing, is, like, watching the movies that we grew up watching now that we're older. God, like SpongeBob, bro. I could watch that any day. But, like, you get so much more out of it that you're like, damn, as a kid, like,
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Or SpongeBob, I feel like you realize how inappropriate that thing is. Like, you watch that and you're like, I was hearing that shit when I was 5. Mm-hmm. Now I'm 25 and I'm like, yo, like, tone that down. Right? Like, bro, like, it's crazy. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm into. So
fire. What do you like about Trix? Because that's my favorite cereal. One of my favorite cereals. What do you like about Trix?
I like how the milk tastes after it. The fruitiness of it.
Yo.
Yeah. No, not like that. I like the fruitiness. Like, so you know, as a kid, you like used to have like Nesquik that was like strawberry, and like nowadays you can't find that shit as much. So that's how you get it. You let the cereal like mix in with that, and then boom.
Damn, you know what? It's funny that you say that. Something I love, if you like golden Oreos.
Yeah.
Right, so if you ever dip golden Oreos in milk, right? It tastes like the marshmallows from Lucky Charms.
Oh,
Fun fact, y'all. So you was talking about that. Like, so I could tie that in. Like, yo, that's why I love golden Oreos. I like dipping in them. I'm like, it's like me getting Lucky Charms,
yeah.
but without a spoon
Yeah.
and a bowl of cereal, you know?
There you go.
Thanks for sharing that.
Makes
That's
it
deep.
simple.
I know we got wild off track, but that's the point of this show, is to just have open conversation. I'm going to lead you into my last question.
Yeah.
Which ties back into the second Chat GPT generated question. And it is, what are the, I mean, you kind of already went over this. I'm not going to even ask you. Let's go through another one.
Yeah.
Thank you for being patient with me, y'all. I like this one because I struggled. So this is going to tie in. At one point in my life, I was given feedback about time management, and I wasn't able to receive that feedback just because I was young, you know, and I had certain things with the people who gave me that feedback that I just felt like, who are you to talk or who are you to tell me about time management? But now I can see where I did lack in time management and how I needed to improve. Mm-hmm. So here's a good one. How do you prioritize and manage multiple tasks and responsibilities effectively?
Oh, so I have a big ass whiteboard in my office. So I have like a weird, like I have an office, and then I have like my own conference room with like a huge calendar and a huge whiteboard. So what I do is every day, the first thing I do when I get to work is I look at my list per department, and I just start thinking like, okay, what's going to impact this week? Like, what do I need to get done this week so that it can move forward? So that's what I do. I'm a big like visual person. Like I need to see it. Like for me, like telling it to myself or hearing it and not writing it down, I'm not going to get it done. Like I'm just going to forget about it. So I'm always writing it down. I'm trying to find like creative ways. Like I just got a computer that like does that weird folding thing that I could write on. I'd rather do that than type. Like I just can't do the whole like sitting in my office and typing, doing spreadsheets. I'd rather do that at home and do my like actual like impactful work during the day. So I feel like I start my day by checking in on every department, making sure everyone's good, making sure everyone's there. There's no like immediate. And then, you know, I have 2 campuses, so I do that. And then I go to the other campus and I do the exact same thing and check in with everybody. Then I kind of start my day. Then that's when I'll usually meet with like the senior leadership, and we go over what we need to do, you know, any upcoming meetings, any upcoming tasks that need to get done. But like a lot of like my morning is just getting ready for the rest of the day, getting ready for the week. Like that's usually my Mondays, is like all meetings. It's all like, you know, trying to catch up with everybody. So yeah, I usually prioritize things by what's more important right now, but also what's gonna get the organization to move forward like as fast as possible.
Dope. You mentioned something that makes me, my sister's a teacher, excuse me, in New York. And I noticed something she does, and it's something you mentioned about you rather do the Excels and the spreadsheets at home.
Yeah.
So you take work home?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. I try to avoid it as much as possible, and I'll, you know, yeah, if I can avoid it, I'll avoid it. But yeah, usually I like to do that stuff on my own. Like I have a thing, like I don't like lights on. Like I like to work like in dimmer environment so I can actually set in and focus. So like if there's kids moving around and I'm distracted, like I'm just that type of person.
So that's a creative expression. You like to dim the lights and set the mood to get that Excel sheet
that
moving.
Excel spreadsheet done right.
All right. That's fire. So this is what I'm going to lead into. Do you have, because I like doing this question because this gives everyone an opportunity. Like you said, how do people get to see you? Or like my question is, if you have any questions for me, allows whoever gets to the end of the episode, if you make it, to know me a little better.
Yeah. So
do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Well, I feel like you kind of answered it, but I'm going to ask you what you asked me. What is your creative expression?
Oh my, I don't know. This is a whole other episode. Now, right now, my creative expression, I'm actually going to take away from you because you said something that kind of like sums up my creative expression. It's funny how we're stealing from each other.
I know.
But I like that. We're feeding off each
Yeah,
other.
exactly.
My creative expression right now is loving on people.
Yeah.
Before, you know, I always wanted to like do these videos or make this music, and like was to bring the attention to me. Like, yo, look at me, I'm doing this, I'm cool, whatever, I'm fly, whatever. But I feel like that's that's not life-giving. At the end of the day, I find myself being empty and stuff. And the reason why I created this show was to sit here, to just talk to people, to love on people, and give people an opportunity to express themselves that they normally wouldn't have an opportunity to do. Yeah. And so right now, my creative expression, I feel like, is love, and that's the umbrella. But underneath that umbrella, you have video, audio, and just that.
That's awesome. See? Yeah. I feel like, and that's something that I've always got from you too. Like, I've always had that vibe since I met you. Like, you know, like when we first met, we met bowling, right?
Facts.
Yeah, we went bowling, and you played me your music in the car, and that's something that I never forgot.
I
told her, I'm like, I think that is so dope that he is so passionate about what he does. That's what he listens to in the car. Like, he's so proud of his work. Like, that's something that you don't see as much anymore. Like, I feel like some people just do things and it's done. But like, to you, there's an art behind that. And I think that's something that people can really appreciate, is somebody that's so committed and determined to doing what they want to do and making it perfect.
Thank you. I received that because it took me, I'm 30, going to be 34, y'all. But I had to really fight for where I'm at right now, not in terms of like, I guess in terms of like family and friends. You know, a lot of people tell me, oh, you should go to school, you should do this, or yo, maybe you should try this sound or try these different things. And it's just like, nah, I know what God placed on my heart, and I might not see the vision now, but I'm working on it. And like, I'm almost 2 decades in of working on it, you know what I mean? And I want to work on this for the rest of my life. Like you said, I'm more about the art. I don't care about views, likes, or get like what I used to think was being lit. Now I see all the people I looked up to who were lit, and look at their lives, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, that's why I said success changes as you grow and evolve. And like, for me, success now is like, yo, I get to work, I get to provide for myself, and I get to create on the week. Like, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
So thank you. And then lastly, how can if people wanted to reach out to you, if they felt inspired by this conversation and they had questions for you, maybe they want to be an operations manager, maybe they want to be a teacher at your school.
Oh yeah.
How could they connect with you?
Here's my promotional thing. Yeah, so you guys can always reach me. I have a work phone, I have a work email, so I'm comfortable sharing that. My work phone number, 720-207-8561. You can reach me at my work email. It's dguzman@clacharter.org.
Dope.
Always feel free to reach out. I'm never shy, or I never push anyone away. Like, I almost offered a job to my Uber driver one time. Like I got you. Like, don't be shy to reach out and communicate.
Fire. And for those who don't like to email or text or phone calls, how can they reach you on social media?
So my Instagram handle is dguzman3, I believe.
My man.
Damn, I actually don't know.
Can we get a fact check?
Can we get a fact check? Can you check my Instagram handle? Because I do not remember it. DJ Guzman3. You could send me a message, request to follow me. Yeah, more than happy to talk to anyone. You
know what's so funny? Your Instagram handle is actually Javier. It's for, the J's for Javier.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? When I first saw his Instagram,
I know what you're getting into.
I thought he used to I thought he liked DJing or something.
I know my initials are mad. Like, yeah, I've always had that joke as a kid. Like DJ, but I never grew on me.
That's why he started following me. I was like, I make beats. He probably would DJ. Like, this is dope.
You're gonna collab on
something? Like, nah, not at all. I was wrong. That's beautiful though. Well, this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
It's dope to have this kind of conversation, because the past conversations I had were like with creators, not saying anything bad about them, but I like to have different types of conversations. It's the beauty of life. And you got to show a whole different side of like being creative, the other types of people who are in this world who are making an impact other than your average typical creator. So thank you for being here. It was an honor to have you and your wife here.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's a first, and it's always a welcome to anyone. If you want to have your partner up here just to sit and watch and encourage you, we welcome that here.
Oh yeah.
Just let me know in advance so I could get them a fruit.
Exactly. Go. She's fine with the banana.
I'm sure.
Hey, yo.
All right, well, that's the end of the Let's Meet show, brought to you by Secular, episode 4. This was great. We out of here.
Let's do it.